readings I've chosen to look at in detail are Gleik's Into the Mean Pool and Regressive and Reflexive mashups in sampling culture by Eduardo Navas. Each of these pieces of writing have elements to which all the pieces of work we have done this year could be linked, and so in critically analysing and discussing my work I will be using them as a standing point.
For my gifts, I use clips that I found on YouTube, thereby sampling work from other sources. Navas discusses sampling as a key feature of Web 2.0, arguing that it is practiced in new media culture when any software users apply cut, copy, paste in diverse software applications. This is essentially what I have done, copied and pasted a section of a clip in order to create a looping GIF. Navas then goes on to describe how copy-paste as a form of sampling is vital in new remix culture. He defines remix culture as a global activity consisting of the creative and efficient exchange of information made possible by digital technologies, and argues that remix is the activity of taking samples from pre-existing material to combine them into new forms according to personal taste. Arguably, then, by this definition, my gifts could count as a remix. I have taken a sample and combined it with the looping feature, as well as an anchoring title, and given it new meaning. The idea of a GIF is in itself a meme. They have only fairly recently surfaced as popular online tools of communication, and have quickly spread across the internet. Some GIFs are extremely popular and perhaps a little overused, but like most things on the internet, as soon as they have reached their popularity peak, they almost disappear. They are replaced by a new, more sophisticated or funny or cute GIF. In this way, they work in a sort of survival of the fittest sense. Gleik discusses how Richard Dawkins made the link between genes and ideas, or as he eventually named them, memes. For him, the essential part of this was the notion of replication. All life evolves by the differential survival of replicating entities. Just as our genes are constantly evolving through reproduction, so too are memes, and by extension GIFs. My first GIF used a clip from the TV show Friends. It was a fairly well-known clip of Chandler's victory dance. I used it to represent the satisfaction that you feel as a student when you find a free computer in the library in your first round of looking. My second GIF was a clip of a cat falling asleep, the likes of which are extremely popular on the internet. It was used to signify the dread that most of us students feel when we have a 9 a.m. lecture. I know that's how I feel at that time in the morning at least. Finally, my third GIF was of a clip of Blue Steel from the film Zoolander. This is a kind of a cult classic, and the Blue Steel model face of the lead, Zoolander himself, is very famous. I used it because it reminded me of the way in which people act on a night out whenever there is a camera around. For all my gifts, the general meaning is fairly clear, however the titles are needed to really allow the viewer to understand the point which they are making. The fact that vines are only 6 seconds long means that to tell a wider story you have to split it up into sections. The story becomes fragmented. Navas discusses the postmodern theory of fragmentation when talking about mashups. He discusses Frederick Jameson's theory of the waning of effect in postmodern culture, or in other words, a sense of fragmentation, a suspension or collapse of history into intertextuality due to the high level of media production. My Vine essay is a retelling of the John Lewis Christmas advert story of The Bear and the Hare, in which a hare buys a bear an alarm clock so he can be woken up from his hibernation in time for Christmas. It was a very popular advert around Christmas 2013 and cost £7 million to make. My version tells the story on a budget. It is a John Lewis story but on a Poundland budget. Using my friends who dressed up as the bear and the hare and a tree covered in fairy lights on the university campus, I was able to reenact the story myself. I even used the same soundtrack. In essence, it could be argued that my vines are similar to a remix of the advert. The spectacular aura is the same, and though it relies on previous knowledge, the original is recognisable. According to Navas, in order to avoid issues of plagiarism, the original must be recognisable. Similar to the idea of remix, it could be argued that what I have done with the John Lewis advert is taken the idea, or the meme, and evolved and changed it. The advert has inspired countless parodies, a feature which is almost guaranteed to happen when something goes viral. On the internet, something isn't famous until it has been parodied. As Gleik says, like any good meme, it spawned mutations. Vines are good vehicles for the propagation of memes, as can be seen in the trends that very often spring up. For instance, Girls We Like, Do It for the Vine, or Nah, and more. As vines are limited in time, the information in them has to be condensed, meaning that they are often very catchy.
According to Navas, mashups rely on sampling. This is true of both my mashups, as neither of them feature any original clips. Navas describes two types of mashup: regressive, which is similar to reflexive remixes, in that they simply point back to the greatness of the original track by celebrating it as a remix. The term regressive refers to Adorno's theory, in which he states that there is a tendency in mass culture and the media to provide consumers with easily understood entertainment and commodities. They support the state of regression that aims to return the individual to comforting ground. The second type of mashup is the reflexive mashup. This is more commonly found outside of music and Web 2.0 applications. It uses samples from two or more elements to access specific information more efficiently, thereby taking them beyond their initial possibilities. The reflexive mashup is a form of regenerative remix. The regenerative remix is a form of material production best understood in software. It is exposed in the activity of constant updates made with software that also creates a well-organized archive. Twitter is an example of regenerative remix, as it, along with almost all other social networking sites, relies on constant updating.
Both of my mashups are, in essence, regressive mashups. Just like many other music mashups, my music video mashup was created for entertainment and pleasure purposes. It focuses on Beyoncé using one of her songs, Flawless, and mashing it up with various clips of her walking, something which she is famous for, and is featured in many of her music videos. In this sense, it could therefore be argued that this mashup is a form of megamix, because it samples brief selections of video clips from numerous Beyoncé videos, which have been sequenced to create an extended collage, an electronic medley consisting of samples from pre-existing sources. Unfortunately, I have had to mute my music video mashup because it contravenes YouTube's copyright rules. They keep muting the whole of the video, and really quickly as well, which raises the issue of content ownership and use on the internet.
A basic issue.
My political mashup featured clips from David Cameron, the Channel 4 programme Benefit Street, and an interview with Owen Jones, with background music from The Kinks. It's a video which looks at the representations of the working class and benefit recipients in the media, from David Cameron's speech, which repeats popular ideologies surrounding the working class, to Benefit Street, which has caused lots of controversy over the way in which it frames the working class residents of a street in Birmingham. The video ends with a clip from an interview with the sociologist Owen Jones, who argues that these representations are damaging to the working class.
Unemployed, unemployed, unemployed.
You see this street here? James Turner Street was one of the best streets.
Unemployed, unemployed.
No, one of the worst.
Most of the residents are claiming benefits.
5% of people in this This mashup does rely on an element of previous knowledge, in that it would help the viewer if they knew what Benefit Street was about and the controversy surrounding it. However, this is not essential. There are elements of the reflexive remix in this mashup, in that it demands that the viewer question everything that is presented. It calls for critical reflection. This is the point of a political video mashup. The juxtaposition of text ensures that the viewer critically reads its message. As with a regressive mashup, it depends on recorded signs that are transparently juxtaposed. Video mashups, particularly the political video mashup, are a vehicle for memes and ideas. They are used as a means of promoting particular ideas. The internet provides a key location for this, enables the spread of these ideas. If religious ideology is a mean, then political ideology must similarly be too.
Because we have a situation now where, according to the polls, on average, Britons think 27% of social security is lost through fraud. It's 0.7%. People think that the majority of the welfare state goes on unemployed people. It doesn't. It goes on pensioners who've paid in all their lives. And it's to do with these sorts of sensationalist programmes.
Wikipedia is also arguably a vehicle for memes. As an encyclopedic page, it provides information on countless ideas and topics. Again, it could be seen as an example of the benefits of the internet in furthering and promoting memes and ideas. The collective spirit and community nature of Wikipedia is similar to the ways in which Roger Sperry, who Gleik quotes, talks about the spread of ideas. Ideas cause ideas and help evolve new ideas. They interact with each other and other mental forces in the same brain, in neighbouring brains, and thanks to global communications in far distant foreign brains. Because of this, Wikipedia could be classed as a regenerative remix. It is a mashup of other people's writing and ideas presented as information for readers. Another way in which Wikipedia is a regenerative remix is its principal periodic change of constant updates. My own experiences of editing a Wikipedia page show how it is in effect a mashup, in that I source the information from another source and then change it slightly when putting it on the website.